Hello, Gumptown, and today we're here with Cedric Fluker, and he's the director with the Montgomery S.T.E.P Foundation. How you doing, Cedric?
Doing well, doing well.
Well, thanks for being with us today doing an interview.
I'm glad that you made this opportunity available to us. So good to be with you as well.
Yeah, now tell us what is S.T.E.P and how long have you all been operating?
Well, STEP, which the acronym STEP stands for Strategies to Elevate People. We're faith-based, really a faith-based, faith-centered nonprofit organization,
Mm-hmm.
501c3. We've been here in the community for 28 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, fastly approaching 30 years. STEP is the Inner City Missions grassroots organization that kind of goes into the heart of urban communities and work with primarily at-risk youth and their families
Mm-hmm.
and that type of thing. And we have a number of programs
Oh, wow.
to reach that particular demographic.
Okay, and with the summertime right around the corner, well, it's summer right now,
Yeah.
what programs do you have for the youth?
Well, this summer we're going to focus real intensively on our young men. We do have a Boys to Men program
Okay.
that kind of operates through the school system. So it's kind of one of those year-round programs. But in the summer, we want to have an intensive focus on them
Mm-hmm.
to really pull them aside and take them out into the community, particularly the business community, and make that connection. Because I think so many times our young people, they don't have someone to help them connect the dots to success.
Right.
So we're going to be entrenched in that. We're going to take a cohort, of young men. We do have people sending in apps and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We typically try to start with a cohort of about 30 young men, and just kind of really mold them and work with them and do what we call success mentoring.
Wow.
It's a little bit different concept from one-on-one mentoring. Success mentoring does just that. We take successful people, successful, positive male figures in the community, put them in front of our young men, and let them help them connect the dots to success, what helped them to get to their successful place in life. So we'll be doing that. We also typically always go out into the public housing community.
Mm-hmm.
We'll select a target public housing community at the recommendation of the Housing Authority to go into the community center and actually provide an enrichment program to get kids off of the street, get them involved in the arts and things such as academic things such as the sciences and that type of thing. But
That's
we also
awesome.
want to give them spiritual development. So so just we have a number of things planned, but
That's
summer's
good.
always a busy time for us.
That's good. And what other programs do you have for the youth?
Well, one of our I'd say hallmark programs that we have is a violence prevention program that runs
wow.
throughout the school system. We're one of the few organizations that are actually housed in the school, working with kids throughout the 8-hour school day. So we spend a tremendous amount of time in front of kids, and what I would say would be truly at-risk kids. We always have the philosophy that you can take kids out of an environment, but to be able to go into the environment and train them how to be leaders from within.
Yeah.
So through our violence prevention program, we've been able to, basically teach curriculum, pro-social skills curriculum that's scientific based, to begin helping young people resolve their conflicts in a peaceful manner, but also, giving them some tidbits that they can take and use at home or in their neighborhood in their everyday life.
Right.
So that program, it touches about 500 kids, annually, and we run it, during the 9 months of the school year.
That's good. Now, why are programs like S.T.E.P important to our youth, especially here in Montgomery?
Well, I think programs like ours are very important, simply because sometimes, particularly our youth, they get to a certain point, preteen going into teenage, where a lot of them need a sense of identity, a sense of belonging, and because they're at that age where they like to kind of gravitate towards the group and what's in, what's popular with the culture, I think it's so important that we be there for them as an alternative, to the culture or to maybe the streets or whatever they've seen or have experienced in their real world.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just here to come alongside them and come alongside their parents and say, that this is a support system to help,
Right.
these young people regain and capture their true identity.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that God has a destiny for each one of them,
Yes.
and that they have to be set on the path of discovery of that. So I think it's very important for our, on so many levels, to have an organization like S.T.E.P, more than just, cutting office referrals down and preventing crime and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but to really help young people capture an essence of who God created them to be,
Okay.
so that they can leave a positive impact on society.
That's good. Now you have a lot of youth who've come through your program. What type of impact does S.T.E.P have on the youth? Like, do you see any changes, any progress in the youth? Describe the impact that you see.
Sure. We've had some youth that, a lot of people would describe as difficult to reach.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people say we work in the trenches, and I don't think working with difficult kids or working with the kids that we work with is as trench work. I think it's a necessary work. But some of the
Right.
things that we've seen in terms of results are, sometimes we have kids that are referred to us because they get a lot of office referrals, or they
Mm-hmm.
get into fights frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been able to see kids do total 180s, 360s, whatever. They've been able to turn around,
Mm-hmm.
getting into trouble and stop getting in trouble. We actually have a professional evaluator who does professional evaluation of our programs at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was determined at the end of our last school year that we significantly dropped the office referrals for individual kids that we work with from
Wow.
first semester over the second semester. They were either cut in half or almost non-existent
Mm-hmm.
by the time we stepped in and began working with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that has a great impact, on the larger community.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps a lot of kids off of the DA's list,
Yeah.
Keeps a lot of kids in school, keep them from being truant, because if they're suspended, they can't
Right.
learn, they can't get on track, and they're out maybe getting into more mischief.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been able to really turn a lot of young people around and help keep them in school,
Mm-hmm.
on the right path. A lot of kids who were actually getting into a lot of trouble actually stopped getting into trouble.
Right.
But the biggest impact is to see a child, when they really figure out who they are, and they really start to get a sense of God consciousness.
Yeah.
I've been able to personally interact with and touch about 700 kids over a 10-year period.
Wow.
And so the impact is more than just the immediate. When you see some of those kids now, and we're reconnecting with them on Facebook, and now they're adults.
Yeah.
And they're saying, there was a demarcation moment in my life back when I was in the S.T.E.P program, and how it touched and impacted my life then, set the foundation for me to be successful now. We have kids that are in college now. That's a great impact that we've seen. Most of our kids were either honor students, or they performed well both academically and behaviorally when they left the middle school level. Our last probably group of kids that came through McIntyre School before it closed, we have a couple of those kids in college now.
Wow.
One at UAB, one at Alabama, and we help those kids to actually get scholarships as well.
That's good.
So, but I would say that that's the impact that we're seeing. The program is having a firm foundation being built early on. And of course, I won't take the credit for all of the success of the kids that we work with, but I can say it's a big part at a crucial time in their lives, to give them a solid, firm foundation to be successful in the future. So we have kids that are in the workforce, working, running to them all the time.
Wow.
One young lady inboxed me on Facebook. One of our students, she was a former choir student of ours. She was at Alabama State, about to graduate, and inboxed me and said, hey, during in middle school, my mom didn't trust me to be with anybody, but she had such a peace for me to participate in S.T.E.P. And that made me feel so well, because she says, she just didn't have a trust of letting me be around anybody, but she knew that this program was God-based, and that it would help me, really reinforce the things that she was teaching me at home. And so she's a college student, soon to graduate. So It's having a great impact. I would think on that's just one or two incidences, but I think hundreds of young people have been impacted by the ministry of STEP.
That's good. Now, how can the community get involved, and how can parents get more information and contact STEP?
Well, definitely, the community can get involved certainly by supporting us, getting behind us. You know, it does take resources to do what we do,
Hmm.
financial resources, not just financial, but volunteer.
Hmm.
But we would love to expand the capacity and reach of what we do. So certainly, supporting the ministry financially is crucial. Anybody can get involved though, volunteer, or if
Hmm.
they just want information, you can go to our website at www.montgomerystep.org. Montgomery STEP is one word. Montgomery STEP.org. If you go to our website, you can find out more info about the organization. You can donate, or if you want to fill out a volunteer application, you can do all of that online. And we'd be so thrilled and so happy for anybody that wants to get involved to get involved.
Great. Now, is there anything else you would like to share with Gumptown today?
Well, I just commend you guys for what you do. I want to thank Gumptown for spotlighting. There are so many wonderful organizations in our community that are doing some outstanding work, and we certainly are appreciative for spotlighting that. And I also want to challenge anybody to do something. It may not be with STEP, but whatever you do, I think you should do all that you can to make a difference in someone else's life and to leave your mark on this earth. You know, don't
Hmm.
just pass through, but find a cause, you know, to get behind that's going to change somebody's life, hopefully for the long term. We're looking to change people's lives and their trajectory eternally. So I invite anybody that wants to also get involved in the work of molding young lives to give us a call.
But that's great. There you have a Gumptown magazine with Cedric Fluker with the Montgomery Step Foundation, strategies to elevate people. You're tuning in to Gumptown TV. Stay connected.